Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shantiera Wilson, and you're tuned in to Shantiera and Intellectual Radio. I'm super excited to be here today. We have amazing guests in the building. The Millen twins here today, talking about their book, talking about their entrepreneurship, talking about their careers. So you do not want to miss this show. It is going to be great. But before we get into any of that, we first want to start with the weekly recap. And share what you've.
So this past weekend, it was yesterday, I went to Lily's Talent Management, and I went there before, to kind of so they can, check out what I've been doing in my profile, and I really loved it yesterday. It was so many cute, adorable little kids there. But I love Lily's Talent Management because it gives me a chance to show other people who I'm not used to seeing what I really do and who I'm about, and basically what my life consists of, and it was really fun yesterday.
They were having that casting call. I think a few people she's actually my photographer, and she had a few people that went there, and it was this little girl. She was so adorable. Oh my God. I love just going and seeing all the cute kids.
Yeah, me too.
It's just so funny because they're all dressed up and their hair's all done. It's so adorable. But for me, what have I been up to? Well, I did start my college classes this past week, and it was a little. I knew it was going to be different than high school, but it's a lot different from high school. Like, I already have tests, and I already have like 5 chapters of homework to do, and it's a lot. So I'm trying to mentally prepare myself.
It will be worth it.
Yes, and then funny story. So schedule, and I was like, oh, okay, classes start on Tuesday. I'm gonna go on Tuesday. So I woke up at like 6 a.m, got ready, drove to school, went, and we're all there, and it's like 10 minutes, and I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of weird. Like, the professor still isn't here. All right, whatever. So we waited, and it's 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Now 30 minutes has went past, and we're like, okay, well, we be here anymore. If the teacher doesn't show up in the first 30 minutes, you can leave. So everyone leaves, and that was fine. I didn't end up calling the school to the class. So I went the last day on Thursday. And again, we showed up, and the professor didn't show up within the first 15 minutes. And I'm like, okay, something is weird here. So I go down to the little office area, and he's like, well, you do see that the class starts in September. So literally, I went there. We all went there. I'm glad I wasn't the only one. So we all went there and did not realize that the class did not start until... It was a little embarrassing, but I'm just like, well, now on the bright side, at least I don't have to wake up
more
early. So I don't have to, my first class doesn't start till 12:30. I guess, I don't know, I guess it works. But the rest of it went fine, though. I have one professor who has a really thick accent. He's from Africa. Oh. He has a really thick accent, so it's a little bit hard for me, but he did say we can record the lectures, we can record the classes, so I'm just going to do that.
What subject?
It's philosophy. Oh. So it seems like a really cool class, though. When I first went in, I was really... philosophy, that sounds hard. And then I saw the book, and it was like Greek ethics, and I'm like, what did I sign myself up for? Going to the class and actually meeting the professor, it actually doesn't... basically just the study of what you... basically, it's just a discussion class. So last week we talked about, he had the story of a student. He asked them, he was like, okay, do you know your mom? Do you know your dad? He's like, yeah, well, obviously. Well, he was like, well, how do you know that's your mom? How do you know that's your dad? Wow. So he ended up doing some further investigation and found out that his dad wasn't really his dad. Wow. So that's a bit of a situation there.
I look just like my parents, so.
But it's basically just actually making sure that is what it actually is.
Yeah.
So it's really a discussion-based class, and I do well in those classes. Cool. So yeah, it's really cool. But then yesterday I went to an event. It was called Girl Talk. Oh my gosh, it was such an amazing event. I met so many people. I met a lady who she's in charge of the artists for the Grammys. I met someone who designs and she clothes all the women for the WNBA in Chicago. I met just so many people who were just, oh my God, so influential to me and I'm sure to the rest. And I got to speak. I got to sell a few of my books. I gave some away as well. So it was a really nice opportunity for me to go there and meet those women as well as speak to the audience. So that was really cool. But that'll probably say it because I don't want it to be true, but it might be one of the last events that I do. I'm supposed to be doing something in October with Shatina Edwards. She was here last time for Mean Girls Empowerment. That's in October though. So for now, I probably should just focus on school and stuff like that. Yeah, but I don't know. It's with the pageant situation that's about to end. So stuff is about to come close. Right. Yeah, it'll always be there, but just can't promote it. But that's a little bit of me. Oh, and I've also we're trying to plan more for the pageant because we still want that to be in existence. It's just trying to make sure everything flows the way I want it to flow. I don't want to rush anything and then have it unorganized and stuff like that. So it's a long process and trying to fit it in with everything else. But
so do you have any more girls or
girls that were interested last time? We haven't promoted it yet because like I said, I want to make sure that everything like the date, the location, the crowns, the trophy, everything is together before I promote it. That way I'm not promoting something and I don't have all the details figured out. That doesn't really sound good. So so I want to make sure everything is together before we start promoting it and getting that back up again. But it's in the works. So that's a good thing. I've been pretty low key these last few weeks. Yeah, just trying to buckle down and focus a little bit.
I start school in a little bit. Jesus Christ. I'm kind of ready, but at the same time, it's like, oh, I have to get up every day at 6 a.m. I know that's a good thing, getting up early, but with me, I'm not a morning person.
Yeah, same. Same. That's something I like about high school. I did not like that out early. Oh, yeah. Some stories about that. I just did not like that at all. Everything else was fine, but I'm just like, why have us start that early? Like by the time I'm in my last class, I am not listening to what she says. I'm out for the day, not paying attention. So yeah, I don't know. Then some people have to work after that. So like they go to school, then they have to work,
or
and
have
then
like the after school thing or sports.
Yeah. So it's parents always say that like how we don't understand anything and this and that. Like it's rough. It's rough. Probably not as rough, but it's still rough. So that's pretty much it. But when we come back, you are watching Teens with Voices on Intellectual Radio. When we come back, we will be interviewing the Millen Twins. You are tuned back into Shantira and Teens with Voices on Intellectual Radio. Coming up, we have the Millen Twins, but for now, we're going to jump into the hot topics. Okay, so attention. It's not a lot that's been good. One thing that did catch my attention was the Chris Brown. He has a new documentary.
Yeah, about the Rihanna situation.
Yes, and I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know.
I don't know if it was. I don't even know if he had to explain himself. I mean, yeah, it was. I'm not defending him at all whatsoever for what had happened. But what people don't know is Rihanna kind of started that whole thing. I don't know if he said it because I didn't watch the whole thing, but she kind of started that whole little feud in the car, and people don't know. They thought that he was just the first to like throw a punch or something, but she actually did something first. I think she was like throwing his stuff out the window and like going crazy, and then he just kind of like reacted and retaliated. But I don't think it was his business. I mean, not anyone else's business for that to be explained to everyone.
Yeah. I think too, it happened so long ago. Like I know, yes, and I get the impact that that had on both of their careers and both of their lives. But I think it comes to certain. I'm glad that he's finally has the platform to actually talk about it, because when it happened, like literally all his endorsements went out the window. Everybody was bashing him.
Yeah.
Yes. So he never had that opportunity to come out and be like, okay, well, you have the side where what I did was wrong. He should have never put his hands on her. I believe that 100%. That was wrong on his part. But there's two sides to every story. So maybe something was said, or maybe he's saying that she was throwing the first hit or whatever, and he just acted out on that, which he probably shouldn't have.
Right.
And it turned into something way bigger than what he imagined. And, you know, the whole bruises and everything. We saw her face. When I saw her face, I remember I was pretty young. In 6th grade, or maybe I was still in elementary school. But I saw it, and I was like, oh my God, yes. I was so terrified. I was like, that's Rihanna. Like, that's what he did to her. I was just terrified.
But don't they, like, now to this day, they have a couple songs together? So people still talk about, like, he won't leave. Like, why is he still talking to her? Well, they have songs together. So they probably set that aside already. People probably don't know that. I don't know what song they have together. I can't think of it. I can't think of it at the top of my head. But it's kind of weird to me, though.
I think the thing is, I think they've both forgiven each other. Whatever Rihanna did to Chris, he's forgiven her, and what he did to her, I think she's forgiven him, because wouldn't say that they're friends or anything, but I think they're able now to still together, and they're able to sit at the same award shows together. Exactly. So like you said, they do have a few songs together. And I think after it happened, if I believe correctly, she went back with him. I think they got back together, for a short period of time. Before like the Drake situation and all that. But yeah, I mean, I just think, but then it's hard for me too, because his past girlfriend, most recent girlfriend, Karrueche, she's made comments, and she filed a police report that Chris Brown was actually abusing her.
Yeah, I heard that too.
So now I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, now you didn't just do it to Rihanna. Now you're supposedly did it to Karrueche too.
But was it actually true?
Well, I mean, she filed the police report, and she does have a restraining order on him. Wow. So but it's pretty.
Don't they have intense. A child together? So
with Karrueche?
Yeah.
No, the royalty is actually woman.
Oh,
and that's her child. Yeah. So I think I don't know if he cheated on her or something like that. I don't know what happened. But somehow there's a child, and it's not Karrueche's, and theirs together. But I don't know. Like, I like Chris Brown. I think he's talented. I mean, he messed up, but we all mess up. We all make mistakes.
I'm not there for their personal lives. I'm there for the music.
Yeah.
So.
I like Chris Brown. I think he's very talented. He can dance his butt off way better than I can dance. So, and he can sing. He's talented. He's an actor. So it is what it is. I mean, he's apologized for it. He's admitted to what he's done. And I think we, as a society, we need to just kind of
let it go.
Move on a little bit. Yeah. Just let it go. It happened, and it's sad, but I don't know.
A long time ago.
Exactly. And like I said, people make mistakes. So it is what it is. Moving on, I don't know if you heard about this or not, but supposedly that girl she has, what does she have? I think it's 5 years probation.
Yep. Oh, wow.
I laughed so hard when I heard that. And she started crying. I'm like, are you crying? Like, really? You're supposed to be hard. You're supposed to be tough. Why are you crying?
Oh.
But it was so funny to me. She started crying, I guess, because she cried in front of her dad, or cried in court or whatever. I'm just like, see that happens.
That is what you get.
Yes. And I don't like to be mean, but
at the same time, she's been so disrespectful this whole time, and very inappropriate, and just like had no self-respect for herself. So it's now kind of like a little taste of her own medicine.
Yeah, it's a dose of reality. And my whole thing is like, I still have a problem with like, because she basically said that whole situation up. She's like a Kris Jenner part 2, like a wannabe Kris Jenner, basically. Like, I don't know what these parents are like. Basically, on social media is this little girl. She's Caucasian, and she's explaining her day of preschool.
Yes. And oh God. Oh wow.
And she's saying how she was so shook and like how her friends were triggered.
Lawyer. Yes. Right, so triggered. Anyways.
And it's funny and it's entertainment. Oh my God, I was dying. But there's a lot of people in the comments. Of course, I always read comments. I don't know why. There's people in the comments and they were saying, yeah, like basically her parents are exploiting her and like they shouldn't be doing that.
But she isn't doing anything wrong. She is, as long as she's not saying anything disrespectful. Like, little kids talk. Like, you can't control everything they say.
Yeah.
But you can make sure like they're not doing anything negative. But the little girl isn't doing anything wrong. I think people are taking that out of proportion, but hopefully it doesn't. When she gets older, she doesn't think that it's okay to just say anything, because that video was cute and funny.
I think she's gonna be like an actress or something. I think that video is gonna get in the hands of the right person, and that's what her parents were trying to do in the first place. Because obviously that whole little skit is scripted, and she has a lot of other skits that she does, and those are scripted as well. So but the fact that looks like she's like 3 years old and she can remember
so
that
intelligent
and she can say it and just have it sound so natural. I mean, hey, she has a talent. So it's all about seeing the talents that your kids have at a young age. And if they have a talent, you have to use it. And now social media has become this thing where like it's a platform for you to share those talents.
So because the little girl, she also has a sister. I think the sister's like a year or something older than her, and she does the same thing. But you're right with that. People actually get known and like famous and like just exposure from Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that, just making videos or something. It's really weird to me how that can happen these days. Because back then, talking about back then, I was 15. But I know it probably wasn't like that years ago.
Most definitely. I think that's funny too. You have all those like Instagram models and Facebook famous couples and people and stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah. It's just me personally, I don't know. It's a lot more of those like YouTube famous couples. Like you have the
and Chrissy, Chris and Queen.
Oh my! Now I like Chris and Queen.
Yeah, they're my favorite.
Gonna admit I like them. But you have a lot of that, and my whole thing is like, I mean, there's certain things that me personally, that I wouldn't want like the world to know, and I think a lot of times,
too much of their life, like nation or something.
And then people think that sometimes you're doing it for. And not really to showcase whatever you're trying to showcase, because it's like some of the things I see and some of the things I'm just like, okay, this is so fake. Like this is not real.
Fake pranks, or like I don't want to like put a YouTube couple out there, but DNB Nation, they have like 5 different channels. Like
DNB Nation, I've heard that before, but
they're a couple. They live in Indiana or something like that.
DNB Nation. That sounds so familiar.
They have 2 sons, Damien and Kyrie, but channels. They have a regular vlogging channel, a gaming channel, Toys and DJ. That's a little channel for their son. The Bianca, she has her own channel. Then she has a channel with her sister. Like, okay,
it's a lot. Yeah. And every time they have those views, they're just getting more money and more money and more money, more
Maybe
publicity.
That's what it's about. I mean, hey, make your coins.
Right. I mean, if people are gonna follow you, and if people are going to motivation so that you can make money, you can be a public figure, then gotta use what you can use, I guess.
Right.
But I don't know. I think what is it, like Diara and Ken?
Yeah.
They were going on tour, like a couple, and they were like taking pictures with people and stuff like that. They were charging people to see them on tour. I was like,
but what do you do on tour if you're not an artist?
No, I don't even know. I think they just have people like take pictures of them.
And on stage and just.
They literally charge people, and people went. I know some people on my social media who actually went to those tours, and I was like, oh my God, you guys are literally making these people so rich. And I don't understand.
Know, right?
Like, come on now. Use your brain. But whatever works, whatever. Speaking of YouTube though, I don't know if you know An and Trey.
I love them.
Oh my gosh, I love them. I love them so much.
Fangirling over here. I love them because I think favorite YouTubers because both had a sing and they really know how to do mashup with songs. Like they're the most people I've ever heard of in my life. Like it's just crazy to me how and their brothers, they're young, they bought their own house recently. It's like they're really doing it.
Yeah, they. I was just about to hit on that. I think Trey is 18 and Armand is like 20. Yeah, 20. And they just bought their first house, and it's not no little bitty house. It's a big house. It's pretty spacious, and it's really nice. And just the thought of them working together, using their talents, is so amazing. I think sometimes when you're in a family, and let's say you have a sibling who's doing something, sometimes there could be a little bit of a hint of jealousy or a hint of like, okay, well, I want to do stuff too, or I want to do that. And it's kind of competition about them is that they work together. They are brothers. They both sing. They're both making money.
Together.
Yes, everything is together. And I feel like you can do so much more when you work with other people. It's not always about competition. It's not always about, oh, she's doing this, so I want to do that too. No, work together.
That's why I love
build your fan base together.
Right. And networking. I love that.
Yeah, most definitely. So that's just my take on that. I love them. I will continue to support them 100%. Of course, they're not hard to look at either, so that's great.
That is a fact.
All right, well, that's it for the hot topics. When we come back, I promise, we will have the Millen Twins. You're watching Teens with Voices on Intellectual Radio. You're back tuned into Chantier and Teens with Voices on Intellectual Radio. And as you can see, we have the beautiful Millen Twins here with us today.
Hi, ladies.
Thank you for coming out. I really appreciate that.
I'm happy to be here.
So go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Okay. Well, I'm Carice. And I'm Crystal. And we're the Millen Twins. I know you want us to tell a little bit about ourselves.
Yes.
So just a little bit. We're both educators. We teach preschool as well as city college students. So we're the last class that the child development students have to take before they can graduate. So they do their internship within our classroom. So we have the privilege of working with the babies and the older kids. The babies are little. But I mean, that's what it is. We also have our business. It's called I Am You Are Perfectly Imperfect, and pretty much it's an organization where we give back. And the way that we give back is by showing awareness to different things that are going on in the world, such as domestic violence. We have domestic violence event every year, and we give over 400 bags and clothes, and shoes, and houseware, and is given to survivors of domestic violence. So we do that every single year.
Yes, we also feed and we also clothe them as well too. So and then we also do like basketball tournament games for like boys. It's a lot of times boys are having problems out here, so we're just trying to bring them all together, be unified, and have like males actually come out and you role models, because a lot of times the boys out here don't have role models.
Right.
You know, so trying to do things.
Figure
Exactly. A lot of young girls who draw to us is she has a son. So it's what can we do to bring the boys. So we have a lot of male figures who own their own businesses, who are coaches, and we like, come on, jump on board. We need some more male role models.
We do.
And we also wrote a book.
We did. It's called I Am You Are. Oh no, that's our business. Sorry. There's power. I am. Look, we wrote this book. We've gone through. We like to be transparent, and a lot of times people think that being transparent is telling all your business, where it's really not. It's just basically telling your story so you can help the next person. Because if I went through depression, you got to be able to help me. Help the next person who's going through depression. You can't tell me nothing about depression if you ain't been through it. It's just about being transparent. It's not telling every single detail to get me through my journey.
And it's a book of affirmations. So we believe thoughts become things. So if you believe that you're really self-love, if you're going to be successful, if whatever desire you have, you can do it, but you have to mentally train yourself.
Right. So speak it into your life. You got to be positive at all times. And of course, we all have our down moments, like, oh,
we're not perfect.
Nobody's perfect. That's why we say, I am, you are perfectly imperfect. But if you speak those things as though they're life, so you have to use all those negative feedback and all those negative situations, use it as motivation to get you to the next level. So
now I know with me, I suffered and I struggled with self-esteem, especially growing up in middle school, stuff like that. So what advice would you give to someone, or girl or guy, who is suffering from self-esteem?
I would say to focus on you. I would say put social media down. Don't compare yourself to other people, because your story is your story. What you're going through is what you're going through. You look the way you look because God created you for that way.
And I also learned, like, you can't compare yourself to another person because you don't know their story.
Exactly.
And it's like they might have like all the fancy clothes, they didn't get it.
You don't know other people know is you're going through what you're going through for a purpose, or to help someone, but use it for the positive and not the negative.
Right. And we teach our preschoolers that they're all unique in their own way. So we tell our college students, you are unique in your own way. Like we're not the same. Yeah, my sister and I may look. Well, we don't think we look alike, but because we're twins. Yeah, we're twins, but that doesn't mean that we have the same purpose. We have the same journey.
Yep. She's gone through things such as suicidal attempts, and I didn't go through it, and I went through the depression, and she went through a little bit of it. So we both have our own chapters, but those chapters were built so that, which is why the book came out. Exactly. So we're going to use everything we've gone through, and we're going to help someone.
Help people.
Wow, that's really powerful.
Oh, thank you.
That's really powerful. Oh my gosh. So what would you say inspired you to write the book?
Situation where my sister attempted suicide, and when she did that, I said, you know what, we got to put our foot down. Enough is enough. Stop worrying about who loves you, who likes you, who doesn't like you. It's not about them. It's pleasing God. And that's what we have to go back to our foundation of what our mom told us, stop living for other people. And my sister and I, we love so hard. We want people to love us back. We want people to like us back. And
to make them happy.
But my mom's like, it's not about them. If they not, it's only one God. We're pleasing him, that's all that matters.
Right.
And when we figured that out and we prayed, and he's like, you know what, let's use our story and let's write this book. And we started affirming ourselves.
Wow. So what's one thing you hope to the book, or maybe it's not one thing, what's something that you hope that they get?
Just speaking into themselves, just speaking, I am powerful, I am enough. Just knowing that you don't have to compare you. And that's the thing, social media is I don't like social media. We use it for business purposes, but it's like so many young men these days, they look at the next person and they're like, ooh, I want her shape, or I want her. So then they think, wow. But it's like, don't think about you. Look in the mirror every time you get up. I am beautiful, I'm intelligent, I'm going to do this today, I'm going to get this job. So just speak in your self-esteem back up and say,
Yes.
Be Carice.
Yes.
So I don't have to sing like Beyonce, but God give you your own voice. So, and it's unique. So just being yourself.
I happen to love my singing in the shower
Yeah,
voice.
girl.
As long as you love it, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
But we just want people to affirm themselves.
Yeah.
That's our main goal. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a month.
process.
It's a process. I honestly believe, and I had this conversation with my sister. I said, I honestly believe that we wrote this book to heal ourselves because we continue to have to you know what was this page? Because I need to read this. And it's a process. We're not perfect. And it's a word that you have to learn every day. I am this, I am that. And speak it. And you might not believe it, but the more you speak it, the more you'll believe it. Affirm yourself.
And I was wondering, like you said, you know, tell yourself that you're beautiful and you have this and that. Don't compare yourself to another person. But how do people act themselves? Because they can say it all they want, but if they don't really believe it, it's not going to help.
Surround yourself with people who are positive. Surround yourself with people who will push you and not knock you down. It's all about you. They not progressing you, then thanks. It was nice. It was nice meeting you. You know, and I think our pastor even says that everyone's in your. Some people are there for lifelong. Some people are just for a season. Choose, decipher. You know, choose who's supposed to be there and who's not.
And then some people are scared, you know, like to cut someone out their life, but at the same time, it's like they don't realize how better they'll probably feel after that person is gone.
Trust me, baby. I started
small. Just going through my divorce last year, or it's 2 years now, and I lost so many friends that I thought that was in my circle. And it's just like, wow. And is it hurtful? Of course, it is. But it's like, okay, God, keep me moving.
Exactly.
Show me who's supposed to be there, and it's a reason why you're not there. And I can honestly see now they're miserable, and I'm still moving forward.
And I saw this post on Facebook one day. It was like it was a video of this woman, you know, giving an inspirational speech, and she was saying something like, "I think you're boring." The people who think I'm boring, I want people to think I'm boring because they're not on my level. Like their mindset is not the same as my mindset. Like a lot of people think I'm boring because I do all this stuff, and I don't always want to, you know, do the things that they're doing. Like I want to clothing, like I want to work on the radio show, and like who think I'm boring. Thank you for thinking I'm boring because that shows that you are.
And think about it. When they say, we probably about to say the same thing. When they're saying that you're boring, they're watching you because they want to be where you are. So keep doing it. The more they speak, let them speak. It's doing nothing but she want to talk so bad.
Keep going. But from other people. Who cares if they say you're boring? Okay,
thank you.
Keep saying it. Thank you. I must be relevant because you keep talking about me.
Right.
But don't look for validation. Validate yourself. So let them keep saying it. So when they see you on, you know, on with Oprah, then they gonna have something else to say. So keep doing what you're supposed to do.
The more they talk, the more relevant.
That's just gonna just keep pushing you.
I think the problem that I have is more so people who don't really support because it's like, you know, everything that they do, and then the one time you can't make it, one time you can't purchase something about all the times that you did support them. And so for me, it's always just hard to figure out who's circle because you want to network and you want to build, and sometimes people just don't, or they don't pay it back. And that's one thing that I do struggle with. So
and our mom had to, because our first event we did, it's called Close the Code. That's the one we give back to the domestic violence survivors, and it was tons and tons of people, but then there were still people who were like, well, why aren't they here? And my mom said, you know what, the people who were meant to be here were the people who were meant to be here, and those were the people who were delivered from it. Those are the people for help. Those are the people you worry about. Don't worry about the ones that already got it together. No, we need to touch the people who need help. So
that's true.
They gonna support. They do. They don't.
Right. We'll support you because a lot of times those who closer to you, those be the main haters.
Yeah.
True.
They be the main haters, and you like, well, why? You was just back here at the party, all happy and doing this and doing that. But as soon as I make a move on TV or on the radio station, you mad. It's like, what's the problem?
It's not even necessarily they're mad. It's just like, I had issues with a couple old friends of mine where all the stuff I was doing, and then it's like, you're my friend. I don't expect you to like drool over me. I want that, but you can at least comment on it, compliment. best friend.
Mhm.
Like I've done so many things in the past, and they just act like they're like, oh, okay.
They're not
They didn't
happy.
necessarily hate on it, but at the same
Mhm.
time, they didn't show me any support. So
Yeah,
that was
and it could be a sign of jealousy too.
Mhm.
But keep going.
Looking. The people that God need to look, those are the ones that's looking. Those are the ones that matter.
Yeah.
The one that's gonna help you get to the top, those are the ones that matter. So don't look for it.
Now, for the I am, you are perfectly imperfect. Is there anything you guys have coming up that someone could be a part of? Because it sounds really interesting. I would want to be a part of it.
Well, actually, our team, we're sitting down to come up with our calendars. We give back to the community, and we're trying to connect with high schoolers and people who need hours. So we will definitely be posting it and sending out emails and things like that. But we'll keep you posted.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do people contact you?
Social media on Instagram, what is perfectly imperfect. I am, you are perfectly imperfect. We also on Facebook, our business page, the same thing. And then there's power in your I am on Instagram.
Page. We also have our blog page. It's www.iamyouareperfectlyimperfect.
So where can they purchase the book?
www.iamyouareperfectlyimperfect, or on Amazon or Barnes and Noble or the ebook.
Oh, all of it.
Yes, all of that. And just type in "There's power in your I am."
Power in your I am. Definitely. Oh my gosh, you all were able to come on. Oh my gosh.
My sister told me.
Most definitely. But is there anything else you would like to share with the viewers?
No, just to continue to affirm yourself, to continue to live for God and yourself, no one else.
Stay positive,
and it's not going to happen overnight. As long as you affirm yourself and you keep speaking it, the more you speak it, the more it'll happen.
Yes.
Well, there you have it. Make sure you go right now, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, or their website, and check out their book, I Am, You Are Perfect. Thank you so much again for coming on.
Thank you.
No problem. You're tuned in to Teens with Voices on Intellectual Radio. We'll be back. You're tuned back into Shantira and Teens with Voices on IntellectualRadio.com. Wow. Can we say Black Girl Magic? Oh my goodness. I just love it. I love hearing from people who doing some of the same things to do or doing some of that I am doing. I mean, with the speaking motivationally and being CEOs, I just always love working with people and learn so much from their story or from what they're doing, and it's amazing to hear, and it's very motivational for me because it's like, I have something here.
Yeah, I like they have a book because, or your book too, like one simple book can change a whole entire person's life. Like people who think it's like that's it, like my life is over, they read your book or the Miller Twins book, they might, their life might be saved by that. So it's like one book just like that, snap like that, and it's amazing because I know a lot of people personally. I had a couple friends who did commit suicide before because they felt like their life was over. They, didn't know what to do next. And I wish I would have known about your guys' books before, to reference it to them. But, all we can do is prevent it in the future for anything.
Most definitely. And speaking of that, I do. I thought it would tie in perfectly with, the Millen Twins books and everything that we have going on today in today's show. So like you said, though, for me, writing was how I healed. Writing was how, I guess you could say it was an escape, but it definitely was a healing process. And it was a way for me to let all my feelings out because I didn't really like to talk what was going on. But then if I wrote a book and if I could turn into this character, be this person. It helped me so much. And it was the same thing with acting. When I'm able to be on stage and kind of be a different character, when I'm able to write another character, now I get to decide what this character looks like. I get to decide what this character is going to be doing. I get to decide all of that. And it really did help me. I was growing up in middle school and high school, and I don't know, it just really helped. And I think a lot of people inbox me all the time who tell me, oh my gosh, like I loved that book. I love that book. I love that story. And my whole thing is I keep it real. I keep it we can't put that in there. But it's just like I don't like reading something where it's like cliche, like happy ever after. Like, oh, that's why I'm not into romance novels because it just is real charming. Things. Exactly. And sometimes I like to read something that's relatable. Yeah, and I think it's easier to follow that story if it's something that's relatable, something that you experience. Me being in high school, it was perfect for me to write a story about a girl going through high school with things that you go through as a 16-year-old when you have the guys coming up to you and you're doing this. And my book focuses on abstinence and everything else. It focuses on things that people really don't think about. You don't think about contracting STD. You don't think about being pregnant. You don't think about abstinence. You don't think about stuff like that because on the radio and the media, we're doing everything else. They're not teaching us to be abstinent. They're not teaching us that it's okay to love yourself. You don't need validation like they were saying. I loved when they were saying that you don't need validation. Exactly. Because I was like, yes, that's my main thing. The main point in my book is not needing validation. I grew up with my father not in my life. And because of that, I wouldn't say that it made me want validation or need validation, but I mean, it was hard. It was hard. I know for some girls, that's the case. When they don't have that father figure, they look for love in other ways and they look for someone to fill that empty void. And so I just really wanted to reach out to those girls and just let them know that even if you do happen to be like Jasmine Davis and you are 16 years old and you are pregnant and you are HIV positive and your boyfriend did commit suicide and you're going through all these different things, you can still come out on top and you can still be a true survivor. Yeah. So that's the main reason why I wrote that book. And so, I don't know. I'm just glad that I'm able to reach out and be a voice for those who feel like they don't have a voice because I once felt like that. Yeah. So, it's important. My book is available on Amazon. Well, we're actually having a bit of a difficulty with Amazon. So if you did want to purchase the book, let me know that. And then we can send the book out to you until we get the Amazon situation and my website situation figured out a little bit. But again, True Survivor available on Amazon for purchase. Let me know if you would want a copy and then we can get that out to you. As we always say, one thing that I learned from today's show is basically to just don't need validation. Keep in mind with who you put in your circle, who you bring into your circle.
They can bring you down. You don't even know it. You're not even aware.
Exactly. So, I don't know. Today's show was very powerful for me. I always love having our amazing guests. We've had some really good guests. I know when I had the show last year, we struggled with getting guests. I had a cousin, Mark, who was a co-host with me, and another family member who was, and we had a hard time getting guests on, but this year it's been great. This is the second year that I've done this, and it's been great with the guests. We've been able to have so many people come on. I've learned so much and networked with so many people. It's been great, and I love it. So thank you for tuning in with us, Shantier and Team Swift Kisses. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you for watching.